What's up, people? Last time, I'm sentimental. Are you? Thank you, Colin, in advance for taking minutes today. Appreciate it. I don't know. Do we have quorum? Do we not? Let's just go ahead and give it a try. Let's see if we can pull 33 out of our butts. Speaker Shapiro.
Here.
Secretary Gonzalez.
Here.
It's the wrong document. Anybody else used to me having 1,000 windows open? All right. Senator Smith.
Here.
Senator Noah Holcomb.
Here.
Senator Fitzsimmons. Senator Pastor.
Here.
Senator Mutombo. Senator Lewis. Senator Doris.
Here.
Senator Meldrum Roy.
Here.
Senator Ewing.
Here.
Senator Sanchez. Senator Taylor.
Here.
Senator Griggs.
Here.
Senator DeMarco. Senator Tamang.
Here.
Senator Basal Shetry. Absent. Senator Byrne. Senator Rowan. Senator Sophia. Senator Leinhart.
Here.
Speaker Krozik.
Here.
Secretary Holzberger is present. Representative Bonifer.
Here.
Representative Ramos.
Here.
Representative Pudell.
Here.
Representative Seiden. Representative Merrick. Representative Sackrider. Representative Higgins.
Here.
Representative Jacob. Representative Colin.
Here.
Representative Garneau. Representative Tatai. Representative Raymakers.
Here.
Representative Gowan. Representative V. Robinson.
Here.
Representative Garrison. Representative Majid. Representative Bisa. Representative Nedich.
Here.
Representative Rogers. Representative Avila.
Here.
Representative Pruitt.
Here.
Representative Jackson.
Here.
Representative Boswell. Representative Whitfield. Representative Williams. Representative Rozovsky. Representative Churillo. Representative Pickelner, sorry.
Here.
Representative Paddock. Representative Flores.
Flores is in with the attendees, it seems.
Paddock is also here. She just sent a message in the chat.
Thank you. Eric, can you bump her up? Representative Obermeyer. Representative Ralco.
Here.
Representative Diaz-Rodas. Representative S. Robinson. Representative Hayes.
Here.
Representative Horakowski.
Here.
Representative Haroski. Representative Collins. Representative Heffron. Representative Rukoff.
She's
in with
here, but she's in the attendees.
Fantastic. We have quorum. Wow. Isn't that like the first time that's happened right off the bat in a while? I think that calls for a little celebration. I'm gonna get my dancing tips from President West. That's what she's gonna do after her time is over. She's gonna teach dance. All right, people. Well, it's our last meeting. Good afternoon, fellow Broncos. I hope everyone is off to a Bronco-tastic week and a Western Wednesday. I want to take a moment to congratulate you all, as today is our last meeting together. We all made it through one hell of a year. Emphasis on the hell. I know for a fact that I could not have done it without the new friendships that I've garnered with some of you. Additionally, it would have been impossible without the continued company and ride or die attitude of President West. I may have been an excellent right-hand man, if I do say so myself. But I am honored to have had the privilege to have her as my left hand now. I want to take a brief moment to acknowledge all of those who have reached out to Jesse and I over the past few days. It is immensely appreciated. I cannot say that we aren't hurting, because the truth is we are, and so many students are as well. I find it sad that winning the popular vote by 33 votes still had the opportunity for disenfranchisement. I'm disappointed that we viewed bias in several aspects of the process. I'm sad I lost friendships, but most importantly, it is sad how being a strong Black male automatically paints a target on my back. Although we as an institution have a long road ahead, I expect this organization to do its best to support me as I have done for it. However, do you know what's not sad? All of the work that we have done for our students this year, the care and passion that we have for change, and perhaps most importantly, the strength of this organization when we are not afraid of the consequences. Initially, I was going to state I in all those statements, but then I realized that absolutely nothing that any of us have accomplished this year would have been possible if done independently. Thank you all, cabinet members, senators, representatives, and administrators, for making me wake up each day with a renewed flame. If this has been a year of anything, it's been one of stress. All jokes aside, this has been a year of tremendous growth. Growth in virtual communication, organizational, and most importantly, personal development. I am proud to say that the man I am today is not the same Jacoby that was chief of finance and operations. I mean, he was pretty great too, but the role of executive vice president has been an amazing experience. Yes, I was a hard ass. Sorry in some ways, not sorry in others. However, I don't know about you guys, but I am sure that President West and I's ability to near flawlessly execute the roles of good cop, sometimes bad cop, revitalize the student voice like none other. I want to inform you all that after recent events, I have chosen to focus on my future apart from this organization, but I'll still be watching from the sidelines. If you need me, I'll be out flying somewhere. But lastly, I want to wish the next administration luck. I encourage you all to as well, as they will need it in order to fill the ginormous shoes we are leaving behind. Anyways, no shade to Speaker Shapiro or Krozik, but we've run the most efficient meetings together. I am enthralled to do that one last time. Yeah. Let's get it popping. All right, moving on to positional reports. You can look out for your meeting minutes and they will have that in there. I apologize in advance because I definitely forgot to update mine. Giving Day Communications, President West, do you have anything to say or do you want me to take it?
You got that.
Okay, cool. Well, on behalf of President West and I, we just wanted to give a humongous thank you to you all for doing your part and helping us fundraise $7,380 some dollars. We killed it. None of the administrators were expecting us to kill it like we did, but we've been surprising them all year. So I don't know why they keep underestimating us. It's news to me, but we did a great job. We couldn't have done it without all of your support and amplification on social media, reaching out to your potential donors. So thank you for that. If you have not sent a thank you email to your donors already, President West and I prepared one and we'll send it out to you all after the meeting. We were gonna send it out to all the people that donated, but we haven't been able to get their emails from advancement. So I guess we're gonna send thank yous to everybody regardless of if they donated or not. But I guess the thank you is just for reading our emails. Thank you for letting us harass you virtually. But yeah, thank you all again. With that, I will entertain a motion to approve last week's minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve last week's meeting minutes. Is there consent?
Consent.
Consent's been called. Is there any opposition? Hearing none, seeing none, we will consider minutes approved. And I will also entertain a motion to approve today's agenda as presented. Actually, I will not because I need to make an edit. Stand by. Because I definitely forgot. Nobody emailed me either, calling it out. Oops. Look at me. Still on my P's and Q's. All right, I'm going to stop sharing and go to this Word document instead. All right. I'll add it down here. That'll be the last thing we do.
Oh, actually, Jacoby, the compensation review is happening during Eric's budget, so it does not need its own separate agenda item.
Well, that's weird. I would say it does. I'm just going to throw it under here underneath it then. Appreciate that. Thanks, Vice President Engel. Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motions been made to approve today's agenda. Is there any consent?
Consent.
Consent's been called. Is there any opposition? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll consider today's agenda approved. So guest speakers, Dr. Montgomery, are you here? Just kidding. I know he's not here. He apparently, I guess they thought I was a substitute yesterday that we did the town hall. Don't really understand how, as they were completely separate communications, started literally like a month apart from each other. But, you know, I will refer you all to the town hall because that's the representation we get from the administration. We win some, but we lose most, Taylor. That's my motto. All right, but without that, we will continue on through the agenda. What we got next? Unfinished business. We got the University Bill for Diversity and Inclusion Faculty and Staff Training. President West and Vice President Sanchez, the floor is yours, and I'll present your legislation.
Cool. Happy Western Wednesday, my lovelies. So the legislation Jacoby is about to pull up essentially is just a university bill for the establishment of mandatory diversity and inclusion training for all Western Michigan faculty and staff. So we know that, everyone comes from different backgrounds, coming from, their own environments. But then as you come to college, some may have some culture shocks. Some people may have never seen a person of the LGBT community, someone with learning visual disabilities, someone who's Black or Latinx. They may not have had the opportunity to meet people of different backgrounds. So when we're coming to an institution like this, some people have to kind of, get educated into the community. And with that also comes faculty and staff. And as we've seen a lot of the civil unrest that's happened over the summer and this year on our campus, we've realized that there's no mandatory staff training, which kind of can play into a lot of the mishaps that we've had, from vandalism to the spirituals ship to shore concert that we had last February. And so this legislation came to be as kind of a motivator. Provost Bott did say that if this were to get passed, that she were to take this university bill into contract negotiations that she has with the teachers union, hopefully getting them on board with creating mandatory trainings in their contracts that can be sound for all staff members and faculty members to abide by. So this can just be used as leverage from the student body as something that we want to see from our institution, trying to again eliminate the relationship between systemic racism and higher education, which starts with people becoming competent. And so that's kind of the background. Dahlia, I don't know if you wanted to touch on more.
Hopefully this works and you guys can. Perfect. You can see and hear me now, hopefully clearly. I think President West did a great job of summing up what this bill is for. But just to keep in mind that, just like how the saying goes of, it starts at home, well, it starts in the classroom as well. What you learn is what you know. So if the professors, thank you. Thank you, Jacoby. So what you are taught is what you know. So if professors themselves don't know up-to-date practices and equity training, then there is no way that they can properly present the same, or like a better outlook to their students, not the same. But since there is no certified or mandatory training, we want to have this as kind of that starting point for that. But if you guys have any questions, please let us know.
Yep, that was the background on the legislation. All of you should have read it. I know the Senate got a read only last week too. But I guess we can move into questions that you all may have for.
Sorry, I was just talking to myself. We'll move it on to discussion period. I'll start a speakers list is what I was saying when I was talking to myself. Vice President Poole.
Hi, thank you, Executive Vice President. Right. I was wondering for this, does it include anything about student workers getting the training as well? Or if not, is there a way maybe that could be added in? Because I think that's also a good benefit as well, include them.
Yeah, I think that's something that can definitely I think we should have a larger discussion on that, just because I know we're trying to be strategic in this and using this university bill for contract negotiations with faculty and staff, and Bott's going to bring that forward. And so I can see that if we were to add, and again, I'm not opposed to it, but I can see that if we were to add student staff employees in there as well, that it'll kind of get like separated, or it'll get confusing. But I do agree that, student employees should definitely receive this training as well. Maybe that could be an addendum to this legislation. I'm not sure. We could have a larger discussion on it.
That's fair. Thank you for that clarifying comment. Just a suggestion I brought up, but I mean, I'm good with anything. So just a thought.
Thank you, Vice President Poole. Vice President Theory.
Yeah, is the thought behind this legislation just for staff and faculty that go through contract negotiations, or is it for those that don't? Because not all staff at the university are union staff.
Yeah, no, I think this applies to everyone, not just in contract negotiations, but this will be a piece of legislation that can be used as leverage. This university bill was also brought forth for the committee. The subcommittee is a part of the racial justice advisory committees. They were also looped into this conversation. They've helped us with verbiage and everything on that. For those who don't know, there are 2 subcommittees on RJAC that are specifically geared towards figuring out trainings for faculty and then one for staff. And so they've read over this legislation. They're all good with it. They love it. We've been collaborating with them to see how we could even get trainings up and at them. So on one end, we're doing that with the RJAC committee, but then also on the other hand, the provost will be using this as like a leveraging point when she's going into negotiation conversations, if that makes sense. So so outside of people who are contracted to the university, this will still apply to them.
I'll take a moment to recognize myself. In a meeting with Faculty Senate and Provost Spot, there were a couple recommendations for edits that I'll outline for you guys. In this, therefore, be it resolved statement, there was recommendation to either exclude AAUP and do bargaining units, or we could include all of them: AAUP, TAU, AFSHME. I'm missing one, I think. So that's a recommendation if someone wants to make that change. And then the other recommendation was down here in this therefore be it resolved statement to make it say in collaboration with all campus constituents, including WSA, because we don't want to exclude anybody. And then also Provost Spot mentioned or recommended not the end of every year, but doing it biennially. So every other year to ensure that they have enough time to actually get it done properly. And then, reach out to outside people if we need to coordinate that. So those are the 2 recommendations that they brought forth.
I completely agree with all of those. So if anyone wanted to entertain that.
I agree as well. I would just state that I think it's better to wholly list the entire list that we discussed for the first one instead of just picking more of a general statement.
Look, we have a question from Secretary Gonzalez in the chat. I'll read it aloud for those with hearing impairments. Do we have an idea as to when profs would take this training? I assume in the summer, ? Or are we thinking of breaking it up into sessions? One before fall classes and one before spring classes. So she's just trying to get some clarification on when the training would occur.
When Dolly and I were making this legislation, we assumed that it would just be an annual thing. So maybe, starting in the summer, exactly like you were saying, Leslie. So thinking it would take place over the summer to prepare for the school year. But then also we had a statement in here talking about new hires. So as people are getting hired throughout the year, they would get immediate training upon the approval of their contract.
Senator Ewing, did you want me to repeat the recommended changes? Was that one?
Yes.
Okay. Here, just listing the other unions, not just the AAUP, because there's 3 other unions on campus. And then here, including all other campus, all campus constituents, and also changing it from annually to biannually. Or biennially.
Motion to make those amendments.
Let's take one at a time, please.
Okay, motion to include the other unions in the first, therefore be it resolved statement.
Second.
It's been moved that we amend this legislation to add the other legislation. I mean, other, what are these things called? Unions. What we got? ASHME, TAU. What's the last one? Chris, do you know it?
Do you have yeah, you have the TAL and you have the part-time instructors. The part-time instructors, I think it's PIO.
PIO, yep.
And
Thank
then
you.
if you're going to go deep, the stagehands have a union, and then the police officers have a union as well. So if those are also bargaining units on campus.
Most definitely need that one. Can you spell those for me or throw it in the chat? That would be
I can look them up. I don't know their official names.
okay. We're just gonna throw XXX and XXX here right now while we discuss the amendment. We are now in discussion on the amendment. Are there any discussion points?
Move the question.
All right. The previous question has been called. Is there a second?
Second.
I'm about to say, they said nope. All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this amendment. Consent can be called.
Consent.
Consent's been called. Is there any opposition? All right, well, I will make this black as soon as Chris provides me with those other two names. Thank you for that insight, Mr. Sly. Okay, well, look at that. Senator Miller Holcomb's on it. He's got the police union. Look at that.
Yeah, it's POA is of Michigan. Yep, he's got that right. And then it's stagehands is their informal name. I think you can use that. It's got a looking at the website, IATSE. I don't know what. Then I have to go look that up. But it's called stagehands. So.
Can you spell that? I don't know what word you're saying.
Stagehands, like a stagehand, like stage, and then hands plural. I can put it in the chat, but yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Stagehands.
Yes, it's like hands.
All right, like jazz hands. All right. I will just go ahead and just accept that. Boom. God, I hate Word. All right, guys. Moving on down here. Did you have that?
Just if I could hop in here really fast, Dahlia and I were talking direct messaging. We don't know where all of these grammatical errors came from because I definitely did a review check on here. And so I saw Senator Ewing, I saw your message earlier about, is there a reason that, Western Michigan University spelled the way it is, or you were asking like, why is it mentioned in there? One, just being specific as possible so they don't have to ask, just being obnoxiously specific. But I don't know where that 3 came from. I don't know, but I just wanted to put that in there. We can continue.
Good. Thank you. Senator Ewing, did you have another motion to make?
Yes, but I don't remember what. I don't remember the specific wording that you said anymore.
I can type it out. I'll entertain a motion to make the amendment to this second to last, therefore it be resolved statement.
Motion to make said amendment.
Is there a sufficient second?
Second.
Yes, Vice President Lance is right. You can also, whenever I say something, whenever I entertain something, you just say so moved, so you don't have to say everything again. Tips for next year. Because y'all ain't going nowhere. Sorry, you're trapped. All right. Let me find the edit. with all campus constituents. I'm just going to copy this one. Boom. And let's just go ahead and switch it out. This is the new one. All right. We are now in discussion on the amendment. This one right here.
Point of information. At the end of each year, as I believe I heard earlier, there was talk of semi-annually or biannually, so I'm just confused as to what the bill is stating.
That should be said year.
Further point of information, is the biannually referring to twice per year or once every 2 years?
Biannually would be twice a year. Biennially is every other year.
Wonderful, thank you.
Hearing no discussion on the amendment, we'll move it to a vote.
Consent.
Consent has been called. Is there a second?
Second.
Any opposition? Hearing none, seeing none, we're back in discussion on the entire document. Secretary Holzberger, do you happen to know the legislation number?
I was going to look it up, but I was in the middle of typing. Give me a minute.
No problem. Any other discussion on the entire university bill?
Permission to speak?
You're recognized.
Thank you. I just looked up biannually, and it does say it occurs every 2 years.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm just confused now because you just said that. I thought you just said you wanted it twice per year.
No.
Okay, I missed
every other year.
It was a recommendation from admin to switch it to biannually so that it's a longer time so that they can have more time to process.
And prepare. Yep. And see change. Yep. Eric, you got to know that word. It's an aviation word. 24 months. Senator Taylor.
Yeah, and I think it's somewhat said in one of the last paragraphs, but regarding the actual curriculum, if you will, or content of the training, who determines that? What's a little bit of the oversight on that? And I ask that mainly because, more on the corporate side, but we've seen it in universities. There can be some serious overreach on some of these, and just, want to see how this material, of the training is reviewed, how it's created. Are we using a, more commercial training packet? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good question to have. We don't have anything specific in the legislation, but Vice President Sanchez.
Yes, I think that's a great question to have. We, in this case, left it more open just because the sense that this bill will be used to negotiate in contracts. So a lot of the contracts have very specific just requirements in different sections. So to be able to get through to those contracts, it normally has to be more general. We could always add in, or, if somebody else wants to make a motion to add in something along the lines of who gets to decide what those trainings look like. I would suggest that if somebody is deciding how those trainings look outside of the contract negotiations, then it should be student organizations or student leaders, so that then students can have an input and make sure that this is something that is going to be used efficiently and properly. But I don't know if you have something more specific in mind that you want to address in the sense of overreach or things like that.
Yeah, maybe outside of the scope here. If the point is to really get the bill passed, then yet, and bring it for negotiation. I'm sure that can be hashed out later, but it is a concern.
Yes. No, yes, of course. I completely agree with the idea that, there are a lot of details that are missing from this bill. And that oftentimes happens when they're used for this kind of, negotiation contract. I'm sure we can add in something in future years once this is passed to then kind of have those details hashed out. But if you have any other concerns, we can always discuss it later on as well.
Don't use whoever Coca-Cola used down here. That's all.
Will do.
Representative Ramos.
I just have a quick question. How do, I don't know if there was research done on how effective are these trainings going to be? Because all our professors already have their confirmation biases, and how do we know that this is going to guarantee an actual change and it's going to be actually effective, especially if there's going to be money involved and stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because there hasn't been a lot of discussion around making mandatory diversity inclusion trainings, given that the AAUP contracts kind of allow teachers to have academic freedom, which kind of allows them to just not have a lot of structure, and making things mandatory can rub faculty members the wrong way, especially that we know if we were to have these diversity inclusion trainings and some faculty members, and let's say we didn't make them mandatory, the faculty members who don't attend are probably the ones who need it the most. And so with that, like Dahlia just said, there are some holes that we have to, figure out. How do we ensure that it's going to be effective? Perfect question. We have been in conversation with the RJAC subcommittees, like I said earlier, and they're really working on how to make this not just another module that you click through just to get the certificate and just shove it under the rug. But instead, maybe we can collaborate with the NAACP to get a certificate or something that maybe it can be, a mandatory training that you do to get on the tenure track. There's a lot of ways that we can strategically place this university bill, these trainings into the structure and procedure that Western has in place for its employees and staff. But just with this resolution and having the support from the student body can just be used as a leverage to show how this is super important and how we do need these competency trainings in order to eliminate systemic racism at WMU. So how do we ensure its effectiveness? It's going to take all of us. It's going to take WSA. It's going to take RJAC. It's going to take the upper administrators to see how we can make this as effective as possible. But in conversations we had with RJAC, we're thinking some type of certificate, some type of award recognition, something that will encourage faculty members to want to take this training and something that they can be proud of. In conversations I had with Dean Guyette, the dean for the College of Fine Arts, to talk about the recent vandalism at the Gilmore complex. I brought this resolution up to him saying that it's in the works. We're thinking about having mandatory training. Is that something you'd be interested in taking? Do you think it's important? And he said it is. And he admitted that, he came from a really secluded area and an environment. And then when he came to Western, he's starting to learn a lot more. So people are still in their growing processes and all of that. But we think that this resolution and putting it into words can uplift it and be used in a bunch of different conversations. But because those trainings are still being developed, especially by the RJAC committee, we're figuring out ways to make it as effective as possible. So we've identified some of those avenues, tenure track, some certificates, that stuff, if that makes sense.
That was a great way to describe it all. And I just want to include as well, since there is no mandatory training currently, this is that first stepping stone to start the conversation. So this will be that first part. And then, moving forward, then we will have evaluations not only through RJAC, but as well, it's included in the bill that there will be that evaluation process so that we can keep up with that as well. So there are things in place. It's just a sense of, we have to hold ourselves and our university accountable.
All right. I see that there's one more request from Vice President Theory, but he's on the secondary list. Is there anybody else who hasn't had a chance to speak yet? All right, Vice President Theory.
Thank you. To just kind of elaborate on Taylor's point, I study human resources, and so one of the things that we talk about is diversity and inclusion training, and one of the keys is going to be to make it measurable. And I think this is what Taylor was getting at a bit, and I was also in the conversation or a conversation with Dean Guyette, another faculty member. And we kind of floated the idea of having some sort of distinction on a instructor syllabus or when they're registering for classes that they went through this training. And I think, it's going to be really important that the students hold the university accountable in that. And I think this could potentially be like a circle, taking care of itself. Students see that professors are, trained, more students register for those classes. Professors that may not be trained, students may not register for those classes. And so that way those professors may have an incentive to, do these programs if they haven't already. And, it looks good on the professors that do. So I think, making sure that this is measurable is certainly an uphill battle. Just in industry, it's typically fairly difficult to measure outcomes with diversity and inclusion training. But I think us being a university presents a unique opportunity to do that when you look at the number of students who are registering for classes.
Sorry, President West has got me dying over here with these private chats. Vice President Sanchez or President West, did you have anything to say after Vice President Theory?
Well said. That's it.
He's typically pretty well spoken. All right. Seeing no more, hearing no more discussion points, we'll move this to a vote. Eric, you want to launch that? Let's do a roll. Let's do a tallied vote for emphasis on the numbers.
Mr. Chair, how long would you like this voting poll to be open?
We can get him another 15 seconds. Thank you. All right, looks like that. Legislation carries with 31 to 0. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
If anybody wants to know how me and President West have been spending our last day in office, we literally had a whole conversation driving down the road in 2 separate cars. Side by side, windows down, just talking, that's connection right there.
I was like, yeah, Terry said Montgomery's not coming in the meeting today. And he's like, what? Like all screaming while driving down not stadium. We were on KL.
West Michigan, yeah. All right, look at Jesse's here. That seems dangerous. No, we were focused on the road. We didn't get in the crowd. We stayed in our lanes. We weren't speeding. We had the cruise control on, so we could focus on the conversation. All right, let's keep moving. What's next on the agenda? Looks like we don't have committee breakout, so we're moving into new business, people. All right, Vice President Effinger, end of the year budget report. Floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, evening, whatever you want it to be, everyone. I'm just going to share my screen real quick so you can all see the spring budget as it currently, holy cow, as it stands. All right, so this semester, we have $58,206.53 remaining as of now. Some purchases still might be made due to outstanding university bills. One thing I'd like to note is that the Western Waltz ran nearly $1,400 under budget. And so that money was redistributed to the organizations as decided in the WSA collaboration request bill. So we got $660.32 back. Otherwise, you can see how much each cabinet member and organization has spent. So if you want to take a quick look at that. Otherwise, everything else, everything is on the website per usual. Full transparency, you can go and look at it anytime you want. You can see the individual items that cabinet members spent money on. You can see how much we spent total in terms of our operational expenses. That's really all I have. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I have one question. How good of a shape do you think we are in for next year, based on the utilization of this year's funds? Or
could you restate the question? How much what?
How good of a shape do you think we're in next year with the additional funds based on this year's utilization?
I'm not thrilled with where the budget stands right now. If we look at the end of the fall semester, we had $73,412.52 in our account, and this semester we have $58,206.53 left. Now, granted, we will be able to get the summer staff 1, summer 2 staff, and next year's fall staff put in, hopefully with classes going back in person, or even, I believe, with the budget restructuring, we should be receiving more money than we did this year. So hopefully we can make some of that up.
Point of information, does that include the $50,000 transfer from the staff conversation that we had?
This does not.
Okay, so we'll have an additional, so it'll
Correct.
be about 103.
Correct.
Okay, cool. I like spending money. I think it's good, so they can't take it away from you, as long as we're putting it to good use. So I'm happy. That's why I use a lot of my budget, but thank you.
Of course. Are there any other questions? Speaker Shapiro, no. All right, hearing and seeing no further questions, I'll pass it back to Vice President Wright.
Thank you for the report, Vice President Effinger. All right, it's probably the moment you guys have been waiting for. Compensation review.
All right, I will go ahead and share my screen. So the panel consisted of myself, Vice President Theory, Vice President Lance, and Vice President Poole. In this first column over here, we'll see the salaries that made up this year's salary. Pretty self-explanatory. This one up and was voted on last year. In the second column, you'll see some of the proposals that we made. So we did lower the salaries of the Speaker and Secretary of the Senate, as well as the House Secretary. Those are just to reflect constitutional duties. They were both positions were making more than cabinet positions were making, so we just reflected those to properly reflect constitutional duties. Other adjustments that we made, we raised the salary for the Vice President of FBR from $1,600 to $2,000, FBR, the VP for FBR is a member of the executive board, and we thought that that should be properly reflected. We also raised the Chief Justice salary from $1,200 to $1,400, solely based on our reflections of the duties of the Chief Justice. They very heavily play in the election roles, so we reflected that to match what VP for RBA makes. We were also told that we had an additional $20,000 to apply to the salary budget, so we were working with around $50,000 for salaries to be used next year. So we divided that by all the positions that we have that are compensated. That equaled about $900 for each position. So we just added $900 to all of our proposed budgets, and that reflects what we have here. What you don't see reflected is that the president position receives an R parking pass and 500 meals, and the executive vice president receives a student permit, parking permit, and 500 meals. So those are not reflected in the salaries, but those those are carrying over this year.
Sorry to interrupt, just a point of clarification. The 500 meals, it's not 500 meals, it's $500. That has been a common misconception.
Okay.
$500, like you can swipe your card, but it's only $500 dining dollars.
Okay.
You're not gonna get 500 meals out of Western.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is what we have come up with. This is our proposed salary changes. Those are subject to the approval of all of you. Well, not all of you here, but senators and House reps. So yeah, that is the presentation I've prepared. We can move on. Jacoby, you can move on to discussion period. If you want me to stop sharing my screen, I can do that.
Let's keep it up. I'll open the floor up for discussions. Please drop your name in the chat if you'd like to be recognized. I'll start. I have one question. Was there a conversation about the Senate versus the House versus meeting every week and meeting bi-weekly? Do we believe that the Speaker of the Senate and Secretary of the Senate should be making a little bit more, since they are doing a little bit more than House of Representatives?
I'll allow one of the panelists to answer that question. I tried to limit my input to the discussion.
Eli, do you want me to take it?
Yeah, please. Thanks.
Yeah. So I think, that argument can very well be made. But I think, for consistency's sake, having it the same is a good idea, in my opinion. I think both positions are, important, and both should be applied to or pursued with the same level of interest. And I think, in terms of getting more students interested in WSA, increasing the pay is one way to do that. And we also wanted to be conscious that they remained lower than the rest of cabinet. In hindsight, we didn't think that having them above cabinet pay was a wise decision, since they are not required to come to things like cabinet meetings or have a large number of duties outside of leading their respective chambers. So I think you could definitely make that argument, Jacoby, but in terms of where we felt it was best for consistency's sake to have them the same.
Senate Speaker Shapiro.
I want to make one note that it is snowing and the sun is out, so that's weird. But also, when it comes to the dining dollars, say like a president gets president, vice president get their $500 dining dollars, and they don't use them all come the end of their term. Do those carry over outside of their presidency and vice presidency? Like, do they still have those dining dollars, those extra left over once they're done?
I think that comes down to WMU dining. I think even when students purchase meal plans, they don't carry over. So the answer would be no.
Okay.
Point of clarification, I'm going to show you all, because it doesn't go on directly on my Bronco ID. I get a card, a dining dollar card that gets passed down between the presidents. So it doesn't stay on my account, and it doesn't roll over either. And Chris could probably provide a little bit more clarification on that. It does roll over from the first and second semester, but it restarts per year.
Yeah, you guys got it. Yeah, Taylor, you described it perfectly. It's more on a card. It's not on your personal account. So yeah, you guys are good.
For vice president, it is on your personal account. So I'm probably gonna go on a shopping spree since I couldn't take any students out to lunch this year because we don't want to waste X amount of dollars because student funds shouldn't just go to waste. So if anybody wants some candy, just let me know. Vice President Effinger.
Oh, no, that wasn't a thing to talk. That was just a response to your statement.
Okay, got you. I'll write you down on the list, the candy list. There's a speakers list and there's a candies list. I had another question. Did we discuss at all senator compensation?
That was not discussed.
Well, why not? That makes me sad boy hours.
If that was something that we did want to explore, Eric and Alexis, if that is what you want that additional 20,000 to be used for, we could host another panel.
If I could provide a point of perhaps information or clarification. In the past, what would have been done, to my knowledge, and was discussed, would a bill would need to be passed, and a spending bill specifically to modify the budget. So if we approve this as is next year, if this is something the Senate would like to pursue, it would need to be a spending budget approved by both House and Senate.
Anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions for edits? Dang, y'all are a lot less.
Senator Ewing has one.
Okay, there you go. Senator Ewing, you're recognized.
So I was just wondering where the extra money came from, from the bonus. So.
Yeah, Eric or Jacoby or Taylor, if any of you would want to answer that.
Taylor, do you want it?
You got it.
All right. She's making me do everything. She's taking the last day off. Yeah, so there was a staff conversation with all the other student organizations that receive a portion of the student assessment fee. And basically we just discussed a need for additional funds instead of doing a percentage increase or a percentage reevaluation. We just did a one-time stimulus, and it came from the allocations account due to there being a lack of events needed to be funded. And there were also funds transferred to the Office of Student Engagement for GA-ship. And then I believe we also gave some to Sports Club Council, if I'm not correct.
It was SMG, but yes.
Good media group. So yeah, thank you, Vice President Lance.
Thank you.
I'll just say thank you on behalf of the entire cabinet. I really wanted there to be a raise for everyone because we do so much hard work. And I know it doesn't seem like you're paid and compensated for a lot of it. So we try to say thank you as much as we can. But additional dollars in your pocket is definitely beneficial to make sure that they can continue to do their job and put the time and energy required into it. So thanks for that. All right, hearing none, seeing none, I'll move the question. This does involve money, so consent cannot be called. Cabinet abstains from a vote. We'll take it to a minute.
We'll go.
We did not have sufficient quorum for this vote. Let's launch it again and cross our fingers. We need 33 votes.
One more vote is required.
One more vote. I hope that wasn't the person that just checked out.
Is it possible this individual may be abstaining? In that case, their vote would not be recorded.
I don't think so.
We meet quorum.
There we go. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Looks like compensation review has passed. Nice raises, well-deserved raises. I hope our hard work makes you guys work harder next year. 32 to 2 to 0. All right. Drum roll for President West. Drum roll for President West. I'm going to turn the floor over to her for the State of the WSA address.
You guys are too good to me. Happy Western Wednesday, Broncos. The last meeting of the year always makes me really emotional, so I'll try to get through this address in one piece. The Western Student Association has exceeded my expectations this year, more above and beyond than any group I've ever been a part of. Even though the low points were low, the highs were impactful, radiant, and transformative. Each and every one of you played a part in making magic this year, starting from the very beginning. For those who don't know, the Western Student Association is running on a new set of governing documents this year that have expanded our organization into 2 chambers, a House of Representatives and a Senate. We've had to rebuild from the ground up while it's transitioning into this new virtual age, while also being full-time students throughout navigating this change. Some of you may not realize how absolutely monumental a change like this is in providing more opportunities to get involved, encouraging synergy between RSOs and academic colleges, like outstanding. So pat yourselves on the back, please. However, as we've also realized this year, with new changes come new consequences. I received an email from the Herald last week asking me to comment on WSA's toxic culture during this year's election season. It's easy to place the toxicity on a person or a few people. However, I see the toxicity on a larger level. A trigger that causes a toxic ripple effect down the line for a few people to clean up after it's all said and done. The Western Student Association is not toxic, but as a centralized student government, it can be easy to assume so. Instead, the responsibility is put on all of us students. I'm not saying that WSA isn't in need of some growth, as this organization has yet to reach its full potential. What I'm saying is we all play a part in the image of the Western Student Association. The way we celebrate our wins together is the same way we learn from our mistakes together. This year, we all had to remind ourselves time and time again about grace and compassion. The social and physical severance the pandemic has caused allowed us to believe it was okay to disrespect each other, which in all causes a lack of empathy and understanding. We took things way too personally this year, including me, but I had to remember my why. Why am I involved with WSA? Why do I lead? Not to be disrespectful or hurtful, but to make a difference where I can. Reflecting on my why always brings me back to center, so I encourage you all to think of your intentions, your why. I'd like to send a huge thank you to every single senator, representative, associate justice, allocations commissioner, and sustainability commissioner for helping reestablish WSA as a resource hub for students. As many of you are new to WSA hasn't always been seen as the avenue for advocacy, collaboration, or the powerhouse that we all know this organization to be. Instead, it was seen as like of a campus bank in case you needed some funding for an event or your organization, which is important. It's an important part of what we do, but it's not all we do. Last year, one of Lauren's main goals was to change that stigma, to open the opportunity for WSA to be more, as we all saw and still see the potential this organization has to blossom. With Lauren's vision and passion, I was able to further push this vision as we've accomplished more together this year alone than the last couple of years combined. Come on, Taylor, you're totally exaggerating. To that, I say lean into that state of shock because my team could and did do it all. To my student body, continue to use the most important tool in your toolbox when fighting for change, your voice. To my amazing cabinet, thank you for going above and beyond, pushing limits within yourself and of the institution to do more. No one made these cabinet members dedicate time during the summer to host events, write statements, sit on panels, advocate for justice. It was all you who inspired them. Seeing the love and dedication of this year's cabinet had to be trailblazers and empowering leaders is one of the main reasons I didn't quit this year along with everybody else. To my seniors who are soon to be alumna, man, have we come a long way. I spend a lot of my time reminiscing and looking back at the significant change in myself from freshman year Taylor to now. And let me tell you, I'll never go back to freshman year Taylor, only forward. I'd like to uplift a very special thank you to someone who's stuck through with me, who's seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between, Jacoby Jamal Wright. And yes, I use the full governmental name. Jacoby has been my best friend, my right hand, the Barack to my Michelle ever since I could remember. We stepped into the student leader land together, but was not at all prepared what we were getting into. A lot of you may not know, but this year, 85% of what WSA has accomplished would not have happened without this man. And I say that with my full chest. Several members on cabinet, members involved in this organization would not have joined if Jacoby did not encourage them to do so. He gets a lot of slack and not too much recognition for all that he does behind the scenes. I wanted to spend part of my speech today uplifting and acknowledging the insane talent and love I have for my executive vice president. Next time you read the next issue of The Legacy, stuff a plush, review our governing documents, send an email to cabinet members, just know that all those ideas started in that big, beautiful brain of his. Jacoby, you are the best vice president and chief of staff a girl could ask for, and I would not have made it to where I am without you. I hope that they will remember the love and dedication you had for this organization and for your university, as I know I will. All of you have set the bar for what it means to be a student government at a public institution. You all have mastered the importance of accountability to your university and to your student government. Everyone has played a part in making and helping WSA move towards its full potential. However, there is still some work to do. For those who will be attending Western next year, please don't sweep this year under the rug or lock it away in the drawer of memories to never resurface again. Instead, learn from this, learn that all that we did this year. How can we improve WSA for next year? How can WSA help reimagine a better WMU for all students? Begin the conversations and research solutions. It will take all of you to carry on the legacy we've continued this year, and I will be watching on the sidelines like a proud soccer mom. Thank you all for allowing me to serve such a funny, energetic, and passionate group of leaders. The power is in the numbers, and we will always be stronger together. Signing out for one last time, your president. I love you all.
She didn't tell me she was gonna make me cry. Thank you for the kind words, President West. All right, I've lost my train of thought because I'm crying now. Where are we at now? All right, now it's time for me to talk a lot more. Sorry. You thought I was done, didn't you? Nope. It's time to do the end of the year stuff. So let me get the slideshow set up so that you got, there's no transitions, by the way, because I didn't have time for that. Let me just like zoom in like heavily so nobody can see what's going on over here. All right. We're just gonna stand by. There's like no way to do that. So I'm just gonna add a couple extra slides in here so nobody can see what's going on with the votes. How about that? Duplicate and duplicate. All right, that's good. Now I'll go ahead and share this with y'all. All right, peeps. It's time to celebrate these accomplishments with some fun stuff, some awards, some swag. So who's gotten their boxes? You got in your box? You got in your box? Can I get like a woohoo if you've gotten your box? Y'all been
Get a whole
yeah, y'all been quiet this whole meeting, so I need some energy because we gave away some free stuff. Okay, the chat's blowing up now. Okay, there we go. So if you haven't received your box yet, a glimpse of what's inside. You got a t-shirt, the You're Muted t-shirts. So Brandon, if you don't have yours, I can get you a shirt. But if you don't have yours, you either didn't get it in the mail yet because of USPS, or you didn't fill out the form for end of the year voting. But a t-shirt can still be arranged to get picked up. So t-shirts with You're Muted on them, because that's the funniest thing ever. You're gonna keep that shirt, you're gonna pick up and you're gonna be like, you remember 2020 when everybody was muted? You're welcome. Got some water bottles and some face masks, not the ones that everybody's wearing every day, the spa masks, because we all need to de-stress before finals. So there's two. So you can use one before finals, and then you can use one after finals, because that's going to stress you out as well. There's some privacy screens, some fidget spinners, other things from that your Vice President for University of Pride and Vice President for Information Technology have worked on getting for us. There's some other special things in the boxes. Who won the bookstore gift card? Representative Pekelner won a $100 gift card to the bookstore. Yeah. Oh yeah. I said celebration. We ain't being cheap. The work has been valued, so we gotta celebrate. Who won the Starbucks gift card? $25. $25 to Starbucks. That's only 1.5 drinks for President West because she's extra. But I don't know who won the Starbucks gift card, but it was written on your box to save paper because we're sustainable. Big B, there's also a $25 gift card for Big B. I don't know if you won that or not, but you got to let me know. If you won this, you got to email me, and then we'll get you your gift card because the university and their rules and stuff. The most detailed order. Taylor, will you indulge us on your order? We have time.
I get a venti dirty chai depending on how y'all acting on the day. I get a double shot. Then I add 2 pumps. I add 2 pumps of cinnamon dulce syrup and 2 pumps of peppermint. If it's iced, I will get sweet cold foam on top. Yes, for people who know, chai always hits, never disappoints. And my drink may or may not come out to $9 depending on what I put in it.
For a grande. Not even a venti. Nope. Stop it, Senator Ewing.
Okay, I need you all to stop coming at me right now. Jacoby and Nate have bought me Starbucks and they know what the order is, but just don't come at my Starbucks order, okay? Sometimes I need it.
Like, if anybody ever wants to bring President West Starbucks, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to remember the order. So just have her text it to you and just scroll for it. There's also 2 JBL speakers, and they were blue because WSA. Who got the speakers? I'm dead. I think Senator Miller Holcomb got one of the speakers. And I think Senator Tamang got the other one. Don't quote me on that. I said check your boxes before this, so don't put me under a firing squad. And then there was also a nice spa set that somebody got. I don't know who it was, but you guys are welcome. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication. She said her Den Pop orders almost. Emphasis on almost, though, Taylor. All right. Now we'll get into the awards. Senator of the Year. Our nominees were Speaker Dakota Shapiro, Senator Brian Taylor, and Senator Alicia Ewing, because y'all did great. Fantastic. Can we get a drum roll, please?
Yes, I just need you to stop screen sharing first.
Oh, well, we can't do that.
Here.
We'll just do virtual drum roll. If you guys want to unmute, actually, how about we all unmute and give a drum roll?
This will be a dumpster fire. We got it.
But we got it.
Like our birthday singing.
Exactly.
All right, drum roll. Okay, that's not the participation I want. So let's try. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Let's try it one more time. Drum roll. Okay. Come on. Y'all acting like y'all didn't get just some free stuff.
Everyone's waiting for each other to do it, and then nobody's going.
Okay, let's just unmute and just go. Let's go.
Just overwhelming Zoom.
We'll do one big one, and then we'll keep it rolling. So let's just all unmute and just do it.
Let's just do it.
Let's do it.
You can't look dumb. We're already doing it together. Come on.
Yep, let's go.
I don't know if mine made noise.
There we go. All right. I'll continue on. Thanks for those who participated. All right. Senator of the Year goes to Speaker Dakota Shapiro. Congratulations, Speaker Shapiro. Do you have any words?
Oh, can you guys hear me? I don't know if my mic's working.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. I'm really actually quite humbled to have been voted this. Like, wow. Wow. Like starting the beginning of the year, I didn't think I'd be in this particular position or getting any awards. I don't talk for long, or I do talk for long, but not during these. So, so thank you everyone who voted for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, and Senator Taylor and Senator Ewing definitely gave you a run for your money. Definitely, because they were fantastic as well. All right. Representative of the Year. We're not going to do a drum roll again, okay? But the nominees were Speaker Krozik, Secretary Holzberger, Representative Garneau, Representative Garrison, and Representative Pruitt. Da, 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 da. Congratulations, Speaker Krozik. If you have any words, the floor is yours.
I mean, I didn't expect this, so I didn't prepare anything, but thank you to everyone who voted for me, and thank you for everyone that's been working with me all year. It's been a really fun time being the speaker, and I've learned so much.
Oh yeah, you didn't come pick up your stuff, but when you do, I have a plaque for you.
I'll come. I promise. I'll text you after this.
It's a very nice plaque.
Yay!
Speaker Shapiro was in love with it. He's trying to act like he's not.
I'm very happy.
He probably sleeps next to it at night, if we're being honest.
Like, I'm the only award like that I've ever won. So yeah, it's quite close to my bed.
All right, moving on to Cabinet Member of the Year, Legislative. So we did two. One was the legislators, the reps and the senators got to vote on their Cabinet Member of the Year, and then the other one is executive, so internal cabinet voted. So for this one, the nominees were myself, Executive Vice President Wright, Vice President Effinger, and Vice President Theory. Cabinet Member of the Year for the legislators was not included, but it's Vice President Theory. So let's just do a round of applause.
Thank you, everybody. I also did not prepare anything. Oh, my heart is beating a little bit fast right now, so that's got to check my Fitbit, make sure I'm not going to go into cardiac arrest, because that would be bad for people my age. But in all seriousness, this organization has meant a lot to me. I've been a part of it since my first semester on campus 4 years ago. So I've seen a lot, and this year I really think we started turning a corner in terms of making direct action. And a lot of credit should be given to Taylor and Jacoby for leading the charge on that. There are a number of things that we were able to accomplish this year, including the Social Justice Fund that not many thought were possible. So I give a lot of credit for that. And I think the legislators also deserve a lot of credit for sticking with us via Zoom because it is easy to get burnt out. So I appreciate you all being here, and I hope everyone sticks with it. And if you ever come to Florida for spring break, reach out. I'll be near Orlando, and we can go to the beach or get sorbet or something. I'm lactose intolerant, so we can't get ice cream, but we can get sorbet and sushi because I like sushi. But thanks, everybody.
I don't know if anybody else is laughing at sorbet and sushi. That sounds like a perfect pairing, but don't eat those two together. Please don't. You will not be feeling great. But yeah, I kept harassing you guys about voting, and this is the one. Henry definitely had a run for his money as well. It was pretty much like a three-way tie throughout the entire time. So congrats, Vice President Theory. I'll try not to take it too hard. All right, moving on to executive. The nominees were President West, Vice President Effinger. She's over there eating. I want some. And Vice President Barada. All right, and the winner is, what the hell? Sorry, PowerPoint. The winner is Vice President Effinger, without a doubt. Congratulations, you did a fantastic job this year. I thought I did great last year, and then you came in and just made me feel like a terrible person. The floor is yours.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Who would have thought that just a wee lad who hailed from the great state of Wisconsin could make it to such a prominent position in student government? I really, truly have to say I couldn't have done it without the support of my family and my friends, all of my coworkers in the cabinet, in the Senate, in the House. This organization would not have been possible without you. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. And as Chris already pointed out, in the true Wisconsin fashion, forward.
Yeah, he did say wee lad. Ain't nothing wee about that man. He's a giant. If he was green, he'd be on a bag of vegetables. All right, moving on to legislation of the year. Apparently my PowerPoint has failed me, even though I'm taking CIS this semester. But we'll continue on. The nominees are the Intramural Fields and Valley Dining Center Sidewalk Extension, the WMU COVID-19 testing bill, and the establishment of a permanent mental health week. And the winner is, let's see if it moves. Boom. COVID-19 testing. So Vice President Effinger for number 2. If you have any words, I don't know if you have any words or not.
I just wrote the bill. Y'all passed it, so give all of you guys some credit for that. So thank you.
And I was behind the scenes helping Eric on like the first 7. So just so y'all know, I was in the brain of Eric Effinger teaching him something.
Yes, he was. Partial credit to Jacoby Wright.
Thank you, thank you. All right. Moving on to event of the year. Last one. The nominees are Spring Mental Health Week, the Student Sustainability Summit, and the WSA Prom. And the winner is Spring Mental Health Week. I'm so happy to win this award. Thank you for all that assisted me in the process. I couldn't have done it without the support of Vice President Schuller, Vice President, who else? Theory, Vice President Morris, President Morris from GSA, retrainer. We had a lot of success this year, and for the 3rd time, I am super proud with how it turned out. Yeah, so this isn't just my award, it's everybody's award. But I'm glad I have one now because President West decided to not order my award when I won Cabinet Member of the Year last year. So now I got something to put on the shelf. Throwing all the shade Taylor's way.
Hey, we were in a pandemic, starting it. Okay, sorry.
All right, and to round things out, I decided to do a couple of honorary awards. Since we're a sustainable organization, I didn't do any paper awards, but I'll just give some acknowledgement to the people that I think really shined out this year and did an astronomical job across all of the year and their duties and everything of the sort. So I'm giving this to 2 people from every chamber. So without ado, we'll go ahead and award the first one to Senator Bipin Bhusal Chetri really came out of the woodworks with this one. We weren't expecting it, but in the middle of the semester or towards the beginning of the semester, he came out and crafted some legislation, some really impactful legislation, and a resolution, our only resolution this year. So thank you for coming out and shining a light on some of our weaker areas and doing your part to make it better. I don't know if he's here. I think he told me he wasn't going to be present today, but we will send the joy his way. Secondly, got Senator Brian Taylor. No surprise here. Came really close for winning Senator of the Year, but right off the jump, he's been on top of things. He's been schooling us young kids, and he's been doing it and putting a smile on all of our faces. So thank you for all the work that you're putting into WSA. Thanks for coming back to WSA even after years, and still doing your best to make changes for the university. I don't know if you want to comment.
Forward. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. All right. Next to Vice President Barada and Vice President Poole. You guys have been exceptional cabinet members. Talk about reading the Constitution and exceeding duties. Out of everybody else, you two were definitely spot on. Doing events that nobody thought we were going to have. Dinner with the delegates. Still made it happen. Brand new website in the middle of a pandemic. Still made it happen. And it looks great. So thanks for your help on that as well, Speaker Shapiro. But you two really stepped out. Could always depend on you guys. So thanks so much. And also, even bigger shout out to Vice President Barada, because today is our birthday, 2121. So you won't be able to get in contact with us for the rest of the evening. Vice President Barada or Vice President Poole, do you guys have any words?
I'll just say thank you so much, and also that I would not be here without Jacoby, and I would not have persevered in this position without the support and push of Jacoby and Taylor being like, okay, you thought about that, go and do it, because I'm a person who needs constant validation, and the two of them definitely gave it to me, so I owe a lot to them as well.
Oh, I was not expecting that. So thank you, Vice President, right? And happy birthday to Emma. We love you. But I couldn't have done what I've done without the support of you guys, and I do it for everyone. So thank you everyone for being part of WSA, and everyone's being phenomenal here. So yeah, that's it. I'm not good at speeches. So yeah.
It was a great speech. All right, and for representatives, Representative Daniel Garrison, also really close to winning Representative of the Year. From the beginning, we know Provost Bott wasn't too fond of those fiery questions right off the bat, but you were asking the questions, so we appreciate that. And we appreciate your continuous engagement in the organization, and showing up and always having something to say. With the rad setup you got with the mic and the screens, you're over there in paradise. I don't know if he's here, if he has any words. Man, it's hard. All right. And last but not least, House Secretary Colin Holzberger. He has done a fantastic job all year. He originally had some reservations about coming on board, and then he had reservations about coming on board in a leadership position. But then he got here, and he definitely outshined everybody. He did a fantastic job with minutes. Always volunteered to take minutes for joint sessions. So thank you for that. You're always somebody to depend on definitely did a lot of cleanup with the House and organization, with it being the first year we had the bicameral legislature. So definitely felt like you needed to be acknowledged. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Like you said, if it wasn't for you and Taylor positively cornering me multiple times to go for multiple positions, I would not be where I'm at right now. And I want to thank all the reps too, because you guys are amazing. I just want to get connected with you guys. So come on, talk to me, message me, email me, any way you want to. So thank you.
Yes, we are here for positive cornering, positive harassing. It's all for the students. It's all for the students. So that is the end of my presentation. So thank you all for giving me the opportunity to recognize you today. I think that was kind of it. I think that was that it? Was that my last act? I think that was my last act as nope, it's not. I got one more thing. But I'll open the floor up to anybody if you guys want to do any shout outs before we move into speaker things really quickly. To anybody. All right, Vice President Theory. Let's make these quick shout outs. 15, 30 seconds.
Okay. This shout out is for Chris, who has been an awesome advisor to WSA and a constant person that offers support to this organization and to our cabinet this year through multiple difficult times. We wouldn't be here where we are without his encouragement, and that's probably more than 30 seconds. So next person.
Speaker Shapiro.
Secretary Leslie Gonzalez for being an awesome secretary and like coming in when I needed her. She was great. I'm so happy to have her. And then also Senator Alicia Ewing for all the hard work she's done. I've worked with her a little bit, but we're going to finish up here. Okay, thanks.
I'll shout out Representative Merrick for always getting us out on time. She was like, I remember that emergency meeting. She was like, well, you said we were going to get out in like 20 minutes, so let's get out in 20 minutes. And I really appreciated her for that.
Quick shout out to Vice President Emma Barata for the greatest committee in WSA. Worked really hard, did a lot of great stuff for us, and has been just a hell of a leader. And really, really, really privileged to be on the committee with her. And again, can't say enough for what she did. Thanks for everything.
Thank you. And I will throw that shout out right back on to my two committee members. I don't know if you saw how many awards and how many recognitions they just got. I have Dakota and Brian Taylor on my committee. So I mean, we are the best committee. I can't really exaggerate. I mean, I think these two men had their names on like over half the legislation that came out of the Senate this year. They were truly powerhouses and made it so much easier to handle a year that was probably one of the most politically tumultuous any of us have ever lived through. And so that was really awesome to have them as a support system.
All right, without hearing any more.
Wait, I have one. Sorry.
Okay.
Henry Theory, I don't know. Okay. His committee is community involvement. We are in COVID. We couldn't do anything, and he still found opportunities for us. Like, wow. Wow, just wow.
And he's like 2 hours away.
If I could do a quick shout out. I put this out at the beginning of the meeting on the slide, but if you didn't see it, congratulations to everyone that's graduating this year. Your dedication and support to this organization is what really makes it what it is. And I hope that you can pick up your commencement cords starting on the 23rd, 24th at the Bernhardt Center information desk. Wear those with pride, you've earned them. And to anyone who's criticizing Henry for being a Packers fan, go Pack Go.
All right, looks like we got Senator Doris gave a shout out to everyone. It was a tough year and we all got through it, and we're still getting through it. Preach. Vice President Scheller, you'll round us out.
Yeah, so I wanted to shout out Eli Lance, the VP of allocations. I feel like I don't know anything about allocations, but I know that it happened. And also shout out to Emma Smith for also assisting with all that. I know you both did so much and like always showed up for everything and we're just always there. And yeah, you both are amazing. So yeah, I just thought I'd shout them out because I don't understand what you do, but it's awesome.
Thank you, Emma. And I'll shout out my entire committee because I don't really do anything. It's really the committee that does so much. So thank you to everyone on my committee who has made this year's allocations possible.
Awesome. All right, with that, we will move into speaker nominations for the Senate. Speaker Shapiro, who do we have on the docket?
Me, no one else submitted anything. To which, before anything goes on, if there are incoming senators who are going to make a last minute decision to nominate themselves, please, please, please do it now.
Yeah, we're going to let this guy just go win unopposed. You did a great job, so.
Thank you. But in all reality, I certainly don't want it just to be one choice. And if someone is better than me out there or someone feels they can do a better job, I do want them to sign up right now. Another reign of terror. Leave me alone, Henry, you bully. But if someone else, yeah. So if there is anyone newly elected senator who feels called, please shout.
Senator Gonzalez says 2 more years. 2 more
years. Yeesh. 2 more years. I don't think I'll be here in 2 more years.
Senator Ewing said she would run and use her speech to tell everybody to vote for Dakota.
You guys are too sweet. I could cry. I could almost cry. You guys are too sweet.
Seeing no additional nominations, do you want to go ahead and do your prepared speech?
Yeah, I guess I'll start. So hi, everyone. I'm Dakota Shapiro, for those who don't know. And I've been the Speaker of the Senate for a semester. And in this time, it has been probably the joy of my year, my first transfer year to Western. I'm a junior, but first year at Western, to help the Senate and support the senators of the Senate. It is like to see their things come together and do everything I can to help them has been my absolute joy. And I'd like to go another year doing it if possible. But that is up to you, the Senate, to decide if I should sit here again. But I would love to continue to help the Senate and go on. So that is my speech, up to 1 minute. So thank you.
All right, Vice President Effinger, you want to go ahead and throw him in a waiting room? Literally throw him in a waiting room.
I will, yeet you out of here.
All right. Not saying Dakota's face on here, finally, right? Let's go ahead and open up discussion on reconfirming Senator Shapiro as the next year's speaker. I'll start a speaker's list. We'll limit discussion to 3 points. House Secretary Holzberger.
I'll be quick. I've gotten to work, I don't know, don't judge me. I've been able to work with Dakota a lot throughout this last semester, and he has been a really big inspiration for me. He's very passionate about you, senators. I don't know if you know that or not, but he does not shut up about you guys. He loves you so, so, so much. And I think he's perfect fit. I think he's ready for another year, and he really, really wants to see what he can do for you guys. So best of luck to him.
Look at that. And the other two shining star senators, Senator Taylor, you're nice.
Was there someone before me?
Nope. Oh, Secretary Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Sorry. Secretary Gonzalez.
Yeah. So I worked with Dakota this whole academic year. He is my co-senator for the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. And I remember in the first meeting ever introducing ourselves, he like emailed me within like 5 minutes of like everyone being assigned to their own college. So, like, man, this dude's got, I don't know, man. I don't know what he's on, but it's awesome. And I obviously got to work with him pretty close with being speaker and being the secretary. He's always been there and always like texts me and checks in. He's like, hey, just let me know how I can support you better. So, I mean, if he was able to pull all this off like virtually, I can't wait to see what he does in person.
Thank you for that. Senator Taylor.
Battlefield promotions are hard. It's one thing to run for a position, plan for that, but to really just kind of get thrust into a position of greatness and really step up, I think is just doubly, if not triply hard. Dakota's just been everything everyone said, an inspiration, a trusted leader, and I don't think there are too many people who can do a better job than him.
I'll extend it to Senator Ewing and then close.
This is really gonna build off what Brian was just saying, but Dakota I remember his speech for when he was becoming he being secretary first, and his speech for that was literally, he sat there and was like, I mean, if you guys have any questions, like, I just want to help you guys. Like, I just want to like be there for you guys. Like, and that's the entire essence of his leadership. He literally just wants to help us be the best organization we can be, and there's just no one better for the position. That's all.
Sounds like he was a great leader and will continue to be one. We'll move into a vote. Vice President Affiger, please launch the poll. Cabinet abstain. Representatives, please abstain. Quorum number is 11. It's been reached. We'll go for 10 more seconds. All right. Looks like we have confirmed Speaker Shapiro for his second term, his first elected term, nonetheless. All right, let's bring him back in.
He is just rejoined.
Slow clap for Speaker Shapiro. Congratulations, sir.
Oh, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate that. I look forward to working with the Senate in the upcoming year and everyone else in the WSA. It's been one of my greatest honors being in this position. So thank you all so much.
Awesome. And that was my last official act as Vice President. We'll go ahead and turn the floor over to Chief Justice Putnam Murray for inauguration.
Chief Justice Putnam Murray is currently preoccupied for a few more minutes, so we're stalling at this point.
All right. Y'all just trying to give me more time as vice president. That's what I'm hearing. Vice President Scheller, I saw your hand.
Yeah, so I have two things that I wanted to share quick. First of all, it's a really big bummer that the president isn't here today because I can't ask them about the potential that the Sangren Library will be closing. I don't know if any of you heard about this, but there's a likelihood that it will be turned into space by WMUX. Currently, faculty in the education department is really trying to fight for the library. And students are too. So there's a petition going around and like a Facebook page if you want to check it out, sign the petition, leave a statement. I don't know. I use the Sangren Library like every day when I was in person. So it's really sad to me that it was specifically designed for students. So just if you have a moment, does that mean I don't need to return my ed library books? I don't know, but they're already starting to move the books to the Waldo Library. And also they picked a very strategic time to do this, right during exam week when both professors and students are really busy. So yeah, it is really sad. And so if you have a minute to email the Dean of Libraries, or I don't know if libraries, I should know, falls under student affairs or academic affairs, but email the provost because this is really like kind of a big loss for students, like really a big loss for students. Does anyone have any questions or thoughts on that? Yeah, just go ahead. I see Megan with a hand. So Megan and then Dakota.
Yeah, I just want to say I work in this library in the solution squad, and we were told pretty early on in the semester that it would be no longer a library. But if it does like go through as not a library anymore, the solution squad is trying to make it the new Bronco study zone rather than like Root Hall and 0 windows and really small cramped spaces. So that's what we're trying to do with it. There's a lot of people that are putting bids in on it and trying to get the space for different things. But if it is no longer a library, we're really hoping to make it the new Bronco study zone.
I assume I can go now. I think one thing we could do is pull a page out of the 70s playbook and like chain ourselves to the library. And what are they going to do? They can't take our books if we're there, you know? I mean, I know that sounds kind of jokey, but like we could just sit in there and protest. What happened to the good old days of, I know COVID's ruining getting together, but like masks on, 6 feet apart. Well, I guess they can walk through us then. Maybe we'll like chains, like have chains back and forth or ropes, like trip them. Can't get by. Can't roll a cart of books when you got a rope in the way. I'm just saying, but all right, that's my idea. I think we should try doing something like that.
Yeah, so no, I totally agree, Dakota, that like post exams protest maybe is apt because like Megan, that was a really informative point to share. But the truth is like the library, like being an education student, like that was actually used for like our education classes and stuff too. And like the Bronco study zone would be good. But I think that the more like students can kind of speak up and say like, hey, this is our space. It was designed for us because what I've kind of heard is it's WMUX coming in. So like some of those conference rooms, even though it might be not be all of them, they might become, sorry, my mom's like violently sweeping in the background, but you know, like they might like take over like certain conference rooms as office space, like organizations use those. So I think like protest is definitely an option down the table. Yeah. Any more questions? I don't know, Megan, if you have any thoughts on that. But that is interesting to hear. Yeah.
Awesome. Secretary Gonzalez?
Yeah, do you know like how soon they're planning on doing this? Like end of this year or like during the summer?
Maybe Megan would know. My impression, I was told that they're already moving books to Waldo. So this was a decision that was made really probably with not consulting the majority of students. I mean, right, like faculty were just finding out about this. So it was kind of like an overhead decision made, and due to like the college is shrinking and the new budget model, basically the College of Ed is losing their library because they're a smaller college. So yeah, it probably will happen over the summer. So that's kind of why trying to get like our voice out there, because otherwise they're just kind of gonna let it happen. I had a professor who was like, oh yeah, like they just cut down trees. They always do that stuff during finals week. So they did have very strategic timing doing this.
Right.
As far as I know, like they hadn't started moving books out before spring break, but they had taken down like the censor things that if you walk out of the library without checking out a book. But also we didn't use the library as an actual library this semester. It was more of just an office for the solution squad. And if you recommend, or if you said you needed books from Waldo or from Sangren, then someone from Waldo would come over and get it for you and then like have it ready for you to pick up. But I believe it's just like over the summer that they're like, getting rid of the library.
Megan, are they removing the technology too? Like I know a lot of students, including myself, use the print stations there. Are those remaining or are those leaving?
The printers haven't been there at all this semester, but as far as I know, they're hoping to be able to keep all of like the computers and bring the printers back. So if it does become the Bronco study zone, they want to be able to keep them there and then still be able to use like the study rooms as study rooms, whether it be for like specific classes or just like for students to use as well.
Megan, if I'm allowed to ask, do you have any opinions on this issue? Because you're more kind of like involved with what's happening there.
Personally, I like studying in Sangren a lot more just because there's more windows, there's more light. I would like it to be a library, but also I think it'd be a nice space for the Bronco study zone. So, but also it functions pretty okay in Rood Hall. It's a little cramped and dreary, but if it could remain a library, I think that would be great. Just for the students that do use it. My friends that are education majors use it quite a bit.
Yeah, just to close out, it would probably be best that it remain a library because there's no guarantee that it would be Bronco Study Zone because you have to pay for it and use the money to bid for space with the new business model. But I will put a close on that because we're getting close to time, and I do see the Honorable Chief Justice Murray is present. So I'll turn over the floor to you.
Hi, everyone. So we are finally having our inauguration. Snaps, come on, guys. We made it this far. Who's excited? I know I'm excited. So I just have like a little short little thing, like a little oath for the and everything. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with the vice president, and then the last person will be the president. So Eric, if you want to come on screen so everyone can see your lovely face. Okay, raise your right hand.
1 second, real quick.
You're good.
All right.
Okay. Do you, Eric Ebinger, solemnly swear that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the Western Student Association and will, to the best of your ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and the bylaws of the Western Student Association?
I do, so help me God.
Therefore, you are officially the Vice President of Student Association. Everyone, round of applause. You can or snaps. All right, congratulations, Eric.
Thank you.
Next is our beautiful president-elect, Alexis Morris. Alexis, raise your right hand. Alexis, do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the Student Association and will, to the best of your ability, to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and the bylaws of the Western Student Association?
I do, or so help me God.
Congratulations, becoming president of Western Student Association.
Thank you. Can we give our speech?
Yes.
Awesome. Perfect. Happy Western Wednesday, Broncos. First and foremost, Eric and I would like to thank you for being here today. We are eager to outline our aspirations and corresponding plans of action for the forthcoming year. But first, we'd like to acknowledge a few key people who have put in a tremendous amount of work over these past few months to make this all a reality. Starting off, we would like to acknowledge President West and Executive Vice President Wright for propelling us forward in this pursuit. We have both served on their cabinet throughout the entire academic year as Vice President for University Pride and Vice President for Finance and Business Relations, respectively, and are proud of the work that we've been able to do together. We are thrilled to honor their legacy through the continuation of initiatives like the Student Social Justice Fund and the Legacy newsletter. I would personally like to thank them both for their trailblazing efforts throughout their time at Western and cannot wait to see where their futures take them. I never would have joined WSA, let alone run for office, if it weren't for their insistence or positive harassment, as we've identified tonight, that I would be able to make a significant change on this campus. It is because of Taylor's consistent dedication and empowerment, coupled with Jacoby's unwavering passion, that we feel well equipped to represent you all as the 100th President and Vice President of the Western Student Association.
Next, we would like to thank all of you for your ongoing participation in this organization, and especially throughout the election season. We would like to acknowledge and recognize that this organization would not exist nor thrive without the support of you all. Although we have a tremendous amount of healing to do as a community, Alexis and I hope that with adequate time and continuous effort, we can continue to foster a positive and welcoming environment. Furthermore, we'd like to extend our utmost gratitude to the Elections Promotions Committee and Judicial Council for their dedication and perseverance throughout this election season. The entire EPC and Judicial Council have worked tirelessly over the course of the past month and behind the scenes, in addition to their hard work throughout the academic year. We hope to work alongside these individuals in the future and are very grateful for them. As we assume these positions, Alexis and I are thrilled to have the opportunity to work alongside our fantastic advisor and professional mentor, Mr. Chris Sly. His guidance throughout this process has been invaluable on our campaign journey, and we would like to thank him for all of his support, wisdom, and patience. We look forward to continuing our work alongside him over the next year to achieve our vision for a more accessible, sustainable, and inclusive WMU and WSA. Lastly, and certainly not least, Alexis and I would like to extend our appreciation on behalf of the Western Student Association to the administration of the Western Michigan University. Their continuous support of WSA and our mantra of empowered students, empowering students is paramount to our partnership. We look forward to collaborating in our shared pursuit of bettering this institution for all students and community members. Since we have you all here, we would like to outline a few of our initial goals that you all can help us with. Perhaps the most crucial is nominating and appointing our cabinet. If you are interested in joining the team, please see the link to the application that we are putting in the chat right now. The link can also be found in the bio of our campaign's Instagram page at WMU4Us. After tonight's meeting, we invite you to participate in a Q&A session hosted by Vice President Emma Scheller for all interested in applying for our cabinet. We look forward to collaborating with you all soon.
Our second goal is to deliver on our campaign promises of fostering a healthy and productive WSA community. Eric and I are here to listen and learn about any concerns, suggestions, or comments that any student may have. We are ready to earn your trust and support and will be available to meet with any of you at any time. Our survival as an organization is contingent upon your active participation and will continue to be an essential aspect of our desires to bring forth a new era of WSA. Thank you for all of your enthusiasm, and we hope you have a Bronco-fabulous end of your semester. We look forward to getting to work. Thank you, and as always, go Broncos.
Thank you both. Congratulations, Madam President and Mr. Vice President.
Thank you.
Moving on to entertain a motion to exhaust the agenda.
Motion to exhaust.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we exhaust the agenda. Is there consent?
Consent.
Consent's been called. Is there any opposition? Hearing none, seeing none. We'll continue on with the agenda. Our last agenda item, confirmation of a House Speaker. House Speaker Krozik, was there any interested?
Me, but I didn't hear from anybody else. But people are welcome to nominate each other or themselves.
All right, we'll give a moment for people to nominate themselves if they are interested. If not, we'll proceed with a speech from.
Can I nominate, or is that not allowed?
You can nominate.
Oh, cool. I'd like to nominate Colin Holzberger.
Secretary Holzberger, do you accept?
I respectfully decline. Thank
He
you.
will accept. He will accept. Don't listen to him. He's gonna accept.
I tried
I
doing
have
it.
a nomination. I'll nominate Representative Hudell. Maybe.
I'm sorry, I respectfully decline. I'm so sorry. Thank you, though.
Who else is here? Positive harassment.
I nominate Representative Katrina Merrick.
As I will be graduating in the next week and a half, I respectfully decline, but thank you.
But why? Western will obviously take your money. Just stay another year.
It's already been 5 years, dude. I gotta go.
Thanks.
All right. Seeing none and hearing no more, we'll go ahead into your speech, Speaker Krosik.
Well, I'm excited to be running again. It was kind of a last minute decision. I just got an internship that's going to continue into next year. And at first I was kind of wavering with my decision, but I'm super, super happy with all of my involvement I've had in WSA this year. And I feel as though if I had gotten the position earlier on in the semester, I could have done so much more because I would have been able to fully get my feet on the ground way sooner. With that being said, I am nominating myself because I have just enjoyed everything we've been able to do, and I've been so happy to see all of the changes we've made this year, and I want to continue to be a part of that next year and hopefully for the rest of my time at Western.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Any questions? Probably not, but all right, Secretary Gonzalez.
If you do get elected, which I am very confident you will, what new changes do you want to see in the coming year?
In the coming year, I would just love to see more inclusivity, especially in the House. I think that in the House this year, what I've kind of experienced is there's not a lot of people there's a good amount of representatives who speak up and really like share their thoughts and opinions, but then there's those who I feel kind of sit on the back burner. And I feel like there's a couple different reasons that may be. Some obviously are just joining because they're getting funding for their RSOs, but I think that there may be other representatives who are a little bit hesitant to speak up because there's just certain things that they might be nervous about, whether it's the right to speak if they don't want to speak out of turn, making sure that they're following Robert's Rules of Orders if they don't know them that well. So I think just trying to make it more inclusive and try and get more involvement in the House, just because I feel like as of right now, there's not that much involvement in the House of Representatives, and I'd love to see more passion from the representatives.
All right, Vice President, or Executive Vice President Effinger, could you please place Representative Krosik in a waiting room?
Yeah, yeeting in 3, 2, 1.
No, she doesn't have to be yeeted. She gets delicately placed. We just yeet and throw Speaker Shapiro. All right. We're now in discussion on confirmation of Representative Krosik for Speaker of the House. I'll limit discussion to 3 points. Secretary Holzberger.
All right. As you know, I have been working side by side with Speaker Krosik for a whole semester as well. And I can tell you what, that girl can work with anyone and she can do whatever she puts her mind to. And just as Speaker Shapiro cares about the Senate, she cares about the representatives. One of our biggest conversations we always have is how can we get connected with you two, which is a struggle being, with a screen in front of me. But we're both really trying to do that, and she's very passionate about her position. And one of the things we also talked about is how she kind of got thrown into it right now in the middle of everything, and she still doesn't feel like she's done all that she can in the Speaker of the House position. So I think this opportunity for her will be what she needs to be able to complete the job that she was given. So I think it'd be an amazing fit for her.
Any other points? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move this to a vote. Cabinet, please abstain. Senators, please abstain. Executive Vice President Effinger, do we have a poll?
Yes, I had a little bit of an issue picking that up.
Thank you. Judging off of the number of participants, it looks like we may have lost quorum for our House elections. Yeah, I do think we did lose quorum for the House, unfortunately. With that, I'll entertain a motion to table as the first item on the agenda for the 2021-2022 school year.
No.
So moved. It's been moved. Is there a second? Oh, you want to try to get people on?
Yes.
We can try. Motion to table this until we go through the rest of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we table this item until the end of the agenda. Is there any opposite, or is there consent?
Consent.
Since been called, is there any opposition? Hearing none, seeing none, we will continue on with our agenda.
I'm readmitting Speaker Krosick into the meeting.
Okay, thank you. We need 8 people. 30-second shout outs, giving it over to the legislators. I will start a speakers list. Speaker Shapiro.
Not much of a shout out for anything that's going on, but something that could go on this summer is we could all have like our hot boy girl non-binary summer, and we all have fun on the beach and like get to know each other better and like go get lunch and like brunch, and we all hang out and we have a awesome connected Senate and House and cabinet and all of us together and sushi, which we can get. We could all do that. We could all do that. So we should all come together and do that this summer.
Are we going to Florida?
I wish. We can pull, let's take that 50 grand and put it into a party bus and we'll go down. Go down to Florida.
Your party bus costs $50,000. You're doing it wrong.
Well, we'll get less. We'll get, party bus, hotels, the whole night. We gotta really think ahead.
Let's go to Miami. Hands down, Miami.
Miami. Go to the Keys. We'll just go a little further. But yeah, I think it'd be fun if we all got together this summer, just fun games, do something, just chill, get to know each other better, and then, we'll be set for when we start in the fall. So that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I won't be there. I'm be in Seattle and traveling all over the place. If you know, you know. There's a lot of chats, so I don't know if anybody else had an announcement. Henry wakes up at 6 a.m. with the birds because he's old.
I mean, I get up at 3 o'clock, so on the weekend, so can't really judge.
Speaker Shapiro, did you have something else?
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible, maybe at the end of this meeting, a little impromptu meeting with all the senators, old and new, to confirm our secretary, perhaps. If they want to, if we have quorum to do that, which I don't know if we do. But get that out of the way.
Now, why did you tell me you wanted that on the agenda? I
didn't think we had room. And I didn't think of it at the time. I thought I could squeeze it in there. Because I didn't know. I don't know. Because usually the speaker, nominates someone, unlike what I did. But I was just going to continue on our amazing Secretary Gonzalez if possible. But we'll see. We'll see if senators want to hang around when the meeting's over. We have quorum. We can confirm our secretary.
Sounds good.
Cool. Thanks.
Any other legislator notes? So we'll move on to cabinet.
Pick up your cords and stoles and all your other commencement accessories. Thank you. Oh, and the form is still live for anyone that didn't fill it out. Make sure if you have friends that aren't our WSA this year but are graduating, have them fill it out so they can get their stuff as well.
I wore a blue tie today as an homage. That's my shout out.
I have a shout out. So I know Dakota mentioned the speaker thing, but we are also going to do a quick Q&A about being on cabinet after this. If you just want to hang out and ask any questions, and a couple of us will be there to answer things that you might not, encourage you to apply. So you should just stay for 5 minutes if you're interested, because then it's going to give people an idea you're interested too. So yeah.
I just wanted to thank everybody again for your determination and perseverance this year, and hopefully you will all be able to meet again in person next year. There's no more WMU catering, so you won't have any catered meetings, unfortunately, because for those of you who don't know, the chicken tendies are really good. But it's been a good 4 years, and I wish everybody the best.
I'm gonna need you not to wish that on WSA people, because there's still a way for them to have catered meetings. Okay, they can,
but not BHC catering chicken tendies.
It's probably gonna be better. Let's be honest.
Those chicken tendies, they're pretty good.
The thing they had that was good was the spinach and artichoke dip. I don't know where they get those pitas from, but those pitas, hands down. All right, not seeing any more. Looks like we've gotten like 3 other people that have joined us back. I don't think it's enough. Yeah. We could try. We can try to do the vote again if you want. I don't know if people maybe weren't paying attention, but let's let's launch the vote again. Moving back to speaker elections.
As a reminder, Cabinet and Senate, please refrain from voting.
If you're a current House rep, you can vote.
Yeah, everyone's term is still going. Like it ends when this meeting ends. So if you're a House rep, you're good.
No, I'll give it 5 more seconds. Close but no cigar. We are short by 5. Drats, I know. We know who the speaker is going to be. Let's be honest. Shayna killed it this year. She's going to continue to kill it next year. With that, motion to table as the first thing on the agenda in the fall of 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Point of order, if we don't have a quorum, how can we vote on tabling?
You're right. But we do have quorum based on the entire group.
We don't have quorum on House.
We don't have quorum on House. So we can't vote on House issues, but we can vote on the agenda, which is a joint issue. Hopefully we still have quorum for that. Was there a second? A sufficient second, sorry. Charter Harris, you're not able to.
Second.
Thank you.
Second, and it's
Since been called, is there any opposition? All right, hearing none, seeing none, we'll consider that tabled until next semester. With that, I would like to just say one more time, thank you. Thank you all for your hard work and dedication to the organization. It's been an honor. Don't call me no more. Call Eric and Alexis. Don't call us. We're done. We're retired. We're retired. Send us a pension check, and that's it. And that's it. Motion to adjourn, 6:54 p.m.
Motion to adjourn at 6:54 p.m.
Second.
Consent, but senators don't leave. I want our secretary, please.
Second for the consent.
Don't go.
Thank you. Any opposition? Hearing none. Meeting adjourned.
It'll take like 5 minutes. Come on, guys. Keep with me. Keep with me. Leslie, start talking. Start talking, Leslie.